something to look forward to. This world is not my home, but I got a building not made with hands. Yeah. Do your best to enjoy this life, but don't forget you're a stranger. Because you are a stranger. Don't get so comfortable you think you're going to stay here forever. One day we're all going to leave here. Somebody said a reservation without cancellation to another building not made with hands. All of you that know you got a home over in glory, won't you just stand on your feet and give God praise for another night where the wicked cease from trouble and the weary are at rest. As you remain standing, would you open your Bibles to Luke chapter 9. Luke chapter 9, verses 51 through 56. And if you found it, would you say, praise the Lord? Praise the Lord. Let us read those verses in unison. And it came to pass, when the time was come that he should be received up, he steadfastly set his face to go to Jerusalem, and sent messengers before his face. And they went and entered into a village of the Samaritans to make ready for him. And they did not receive him, because his face was as though he would go to Jerusalem. And when his disciples James and John saw this, they said, Lord, wilt thou that we command fire to come down from heaven and consume them, even as Elias did? But he turned and rebuked them and said, Ye know not what manner of spirit ye are of, for the Son of Man is not come to destroy men's lives, but to save them. And they went to another village. Amen. Verse 54, his disciples James and John saw this and said, Lord, wilt thou that we command fire to come down from heaven and consume them, even as Elias did? And Jesus says, Ye know not what manner of spirit ye are of. I want to preach on the subject, burners or builders. I want you to repeat that after me, burners or builders. Amen. You may be seated. All of us who have lived a few days should have learned by now that things sometimes just happen. You don't plan for them. You don't strategize for them. They're uncontrived. They are unplanned. Sometimes undesired. But they still happen. We neatly package our lives, we schedule, we plan, we have our itineraries, but unforeseeable circumstances sometimes creep in. And the direction of many people's lives is often determined in a moment when something happens. The whole trajectory of one's life shifts because something happened. Young preacher by the name of Dr. Martin Luther King pastored a small church in Montgomery, Alabama, but something happened on the bus with Rosa Parks, and his life and ministry changed. Cassius Clay, better known as Muhammad Ali, was a skinny little kid. But somebody stole his bicycle, and he decided to take boxing lessons so that he could learn to defend himself. Something happened in a moment that shaped the direction of his life. Thursday, November 22nd, the day of Thanksgiving. But Thursday night, a shooting took place in the Galleria Mall in Hoover, and in a moment, the direction of this city has changed. In this text, something happens. Verse 51 says, the time was come that he, speaking of Jesus, should be received up. The time had come. The Greek word suplero it means that things were full. There was nothing that could happen but this. Some things just happen as a natural result of preceding events. It's that moment when one just knows because of some internal motivation that a shift has taken place. It could be that if it had not been for instances like Trayvon Martin and Mike Brown and Tamir Rice and Sandra Bland and the church in South Carolina, and on we could go, we might have skipped over Thursday night shooting. But because it keeps happening, and the results seem to be so similar. One shooter shoots up a crowd and is peacefully arrested. On the way to jail, they stop at Burger King. Another one is shot and they celebrate the success of the shooting, and then later have to recant and says he was not the shooter. And because we keep seeing it happen, things are full. Tensions are full. Frustrations are full. So, suplero, the time had fully come. Our city, nation, black community is in a quandary now. We all know it's time to do something, but we just don't know what to do. Black America is on the edge because we're seeing the repetitive killing of our people, particularly black men, with seemingly no noteworthy punitive actions to the killers. And often those who are the killers are those who used to have on their cars to serve and protect. You can't go to church and be safe no more. Help me if you can. You can't go shopping and be safe. You can't sell merchandise on the corner to try to make a living for your family and be safe. You can't even stay in your own apartment and be safe. And so when you start seeing it over and over and over again, it's a warning that the time has come. Something's got to be done. So as a result, many are protesting and calling for boycotts. Many in white America feel emboldened by Donald Trump as they believe that their struggling plight in America is because of all non-whites robbing them of opportunity. Two groups going at each other for which none of us are part of, Antifa and alt-right. They are angry. Everybody's angry. Everybody's on edge. All groups seem to be gearing up for battle. There are some in our communities now that's saying we need to get our own military, get our guns and wage a civil war. Everybody's on edge. This text gives us a clue on what we ought to do, the right course of action. Because in this text, there's a case of obvious discrimination. Jesus is going to Jerusalem, but en route, he is expecting to spend some time in Samaria. His disciples go ahead of him, which was a custom of that day. And they go ahead of him so that they could say to those in Samaria, someone of great importance, our leader, is coming to town. And they didn't have hotels like we have today, so you couldn't make reservations that way. But those who were your servants would go ahead and make reservations in someone's house. And they say, knowing that Jesus is set for Jerusalem, he ain't welcome here. It's the equivalent of you going to a town and when they see your skin color, saying, no vacancies. You go to another hotel, the parking lot is halfway empty. But when they see your face, they say no vacancies. And so Jesus is clearly discriminated against. And because he's discriminated against, now the disciples are upset. Because if you don't welcome Jesus, they ain't welcoming the disciples either. Sometimes we don't really feel the hurt, we don't feel the pain, we don't feel the anger until we realize that who's going through it could be us. It is when you think about that 21-year-old could have been you or yours, that you become indignant because you realize that no one is off limits. And so this is discrimination in the text, and there are debates suggesting that African Americans can't be racist and that African Americans can't discriminate because we aren't in power. But y'all, I just came to tell you, and I wouldn't tell you this if it was too many outside our community here, but since it's just us, y'all, we can. We can discriminate. We can be racist. We can. We may not be able to do it on some levels, but we can do it. You can be at Burger King and see somebody as a customer. You working at Burger King and you see a customer there, and because you don't like their skin color, not give them what they should be getting. I used to work at McDonald's, and after a certain period of time, after the food had been sitting in the bin, we had to throw it away. You could be discriminatory and say, I don't like them, I'm giving them this old food we're supposed to be throwing away. That's still discrimination. It may not be on the level of public policy, but it's still discrimination. And one thing we've got to avoid, stop doing, is excusing ourselves by creating rules that make our moral code make us free to do whatever we want to do. We ought to be upset when one of ours is killed by someone outside the community. But y'all, we ought to be upset when somebody in our community is killed by somebody in our community too. I hear the arguments that people kill those that are close to them and so on and so forth. But even with that argument, 93% of homicides in the black community are committed black on black. The numbers are higher for us than in other communities. And if you know the trap has been set for you, it may be crooked to set the trap, but it's stupid to walk in it just because it's wrong to set it. So there are these debates. No, we can't be right. Yes, we can. It's not true. The Samaritans were not a powerful people, but they showed discriminatory practices. It's a tough discussion, but we can't fight for equality by using double standards. Y'all, we really lower the volume of our voices when we are loud and vociferous only when it's somebody outside our community. You do know we could change things up if we are protesting when we kill each other. If we say to each other, no, don't bring that mess in our community, don't bring them drugs in our community, don't mess up our neighborhoods. If we stand up against our own, we could make a difference, but we can't just stand up when it's someone else, because that sounds like self-hate. coupled with outside hate. At the end of the day, it's still hate. And so these Samaritans were considered second-class citizens, but they discriminated against Jesus. Equality does not mean uniformity. Equality means equal opportunity. Protesting is often necessary because it brings exposure. Who causes protest? Who causes riots? Is it those who protest and riot, or is it those who won't listen until you protest and riot? Sometimes you have to act a nut for folk to take you serious. The best domesticated of us and educated of us, we got some hood in us. Most of us are just one comment away from snapping. A basketball coach used to tell us, we going around thinking we bad. He said, listen, all the folk that's running from y'all scared, y'all need to run from them. Because they might not be running because they're scared of you. They might be running because they're scared they're going to kill you. And so protesting is often necessary to bring exposure, but protests and boycotts are different. Boycotting to destroy can be counterproductive negative energy. Sometimes success is the best revenge. See, if one village deprives you of customary hospitality, the text tells you what to do. Verse 56 says, and they went to another village. If that store doesn't welcome me there, I'll take my business somewhere. You ain't got to throw stuff and tear up stuff and end up in jail. Just go somewhere else. Now the problem is, we often don't want to build our own. We want to burn other folks. Help me if you can. We want to badmouth our stuff. Go to their stuff. And then when they don't welcome us, then we want us to come join you to protest and boycott them. If you build what you have, then you don't need what they offer. We wait, we destroy what we have and then wait until somebody outside the community takes it from us. And then ascribes value to it, and then all of a sudden we want it back. Boycotting can be beneficial, but you have to know when to boycott. Boycotting is most beneficial when one has been deprived of the benefits of the village while expected to share in the burdens of building. Oh Lord, I said so. Now you ain't gonna have me working and building it and then starving me while I build it. That's when you boycott. But if I don't need what you have, I'll take my business elsewhere. We don't have to move into their neighborhoods. Build your own. Because all they're going to do is come back and take it from you and build it and have you want to come back. I wish I had some witnesses here. They will build a house the same size as the one you living in, put it in another neighborhood, triple the cost of it, and you be calling it a blessing because you done moved out of your house to a house the same size, 3 times as much. Tell me, look where God has brought us from, and then they'll move out, take your house for a little bit of nothing, elevate the property, the property value, and then in a few years you be talking about, I want to move back. Gentrification, and it's happening right before our eyes. That's why I get so frustrated with our people in leadership now. who know it's happening and are playing the role as if they are partners in its transpiring. Everybody in color ain't your kind. The Montgomery bus boycott charged the Negro, as our predecessors were called then, charged them the same amount to ride the bus as all other riders, but didn't give them the same benefit. And our people said, no, we're going to pay the same amount. We're going to have access to the same seat. And if you don't give us access to the same seat, then we'll boycott. We left that movement where they opened it up where we could ride on any seat. But then they highlighted their intensity to keep us poor, so you could ride on any seat, but you couldn't pay the bus fare. Help me, somebody. See, they always in back room strategizing. They've already planned out the next 10 years. So when we protest, if we're not careful, we'll tell them our next move, which only helps them strategize for their next 10. Some stuff you got to hold on to. Keep it amongst yourself. Show us the video. You don't even need to know why we want to see it. Because I got some questions. But I ain't going to tell you what my questions are. Because if you know my questions, that will help you determine when you're going to show me the video. And yes, a part of it. And so, edit the video. And so, when we are bearing the burden of building and not given the benefits of building, that's when you boycott. And so, the Montgomery bus boycott was birthed out of that. It was not to destroy, but to build. If they don't want you in their village, go to another one. Our ministry is not to be one of destroying those who discriminate against us. Amen. We build so that we can thrive independent of them. Amen. It is not, let's move over to Hoover so we can put our children in the schools in Hoover. It's let's improve the schools in Birmingham so that Hoover folk will want to come over here. But the truth of the matter is, if we call it correct, if we come straight, so many of us are so trifling. We want a 5-day-a-week paid vacation to do nothing. And then call that freedom. When we could be helping our communities, we don't help our communities. And then when they don't welcome us over there where they are working 5 days a week, then we want to say they got better than us, let's boycott. We want to destroy, we want to burn when we ought to be building. We need to work together. But if we refuse to work together, we have no right to be mad because other folk don't want to work with us. We worried about church coming into the community and taking our members. Any member who would go there quickly was already headed out the door. But we've got to have a sense of community pride. That I will support my church because I'm a part of it. And if I visit your church, I'm visiting to get some ideas on what I can bring back to my church. I'm not visiting so I can compare and contrast. I'm looking to see what you are doing that we haven't thought of yet. Because we can build it. We know we can build it because our slave foreparents built this nation. We become what we think about. If we spend all our energy, all our time thinking about burning, we become consumed with destroying rather than developing. Many people who are part of our churches are always mad. If you can. Because they've been looking at injustice all week long. And so when they look at injustice all week long, they're mad, they're angry, and they always want to fuss, they always want to fight, they're always ready for some meeting so they can protest. And we got a millennial generation that says, I don't want to be part of that. Got enough problems trying to figure out what I'm going to do with my life. I don't want to come to church and hear all this. And so what we've got to do is we've got to recognize that we must be governed by the desire to build. Now understand, sometimes you got to burn before you build. But the end result should always be building. This, as with most things, has more to do with your motives than your actions. What's the goal? Is it building or is it burning? We build relationships, not burn them. We build businesses, not burn them. We build homes, not burn them. We build hopes, not burn them. We build futures, not burn them. Sometimes we have to burn in order to build, but the goal must be building. Jesus said, verse 55, you don't know what manner of spirit you are. We don't need to be going around from village to village burning up folk. And Elijah, they mentioned Elijah because Elijah called down fire as it related to religion. He burning down Baal and the belief in idol worship. And so Jesus is saying our ministry is not even, like some people say, to go tear Satan's kingdom down. There's too much negative energy. Build God's kingdom. I'm on offense. When I got the ball in my hand, I ain't trying to tackle nobody. Sometimes we function like we're on defense. And Satan has the ball in his hand. No, we are on offense. We have God's word. We have the ball in our hands. We have the Spirit of God. Satan is after us. We don't have to tear his kingdom down. Just build God's kingdom. It's about having the right spirit. It's about not letting hurt make you hate. It's about making sure betrayal doesn't make you bitter. That when folk laugh at you, you're still able to smile. When they talk about you, you're still able to pray. That when they count you out, you can still say, here I am, I'm still here. We need to build bridges amongst each other. Relatives must reconcile. You don't make yourself sound smart when you talk about that's my cousin, but I don't talk to them. Even if it's true, don't brag on it. Relatives must reconcile. Race relationships must be restored. It's not, y'all, and this is the trick. I'm telling you, this is the trick. It's always about dividing us. The folk who are really controlling this country don't care about us and nobody we've met. They don't care about no police. The police are just on their assignment. They don't even care about the president. He's on assignment. it's always that slave versus indentured servanthood mentality. And then we break it down into other groups. Then we have the Willie Lynch letter, the field slave and the house Negro. We have all these divisions, all these separations, because the one behind the scenes, they don't mind if we have a civil war. They're trying to reduce the population. They will create diseases in a lab. Then all of a sudden you get it. They don't ever give you any clarity as to how it originated. But then they're going to give you a medicine for the disease they created. So number one, they're making money off the sickness. Then they make money off the illness. And then you got to pay insurance, so they're making money off the insurance. It's big business for them. And white folk walk around mad at black folk and don't realize that we ain't your enemy. And so as long as we are rival against each other, we won't recognize who the true enemy is. We got to build some bridges. We're going to have to brush up on our Spanish and start building some bridges with some Hispanics. Because they are projected to be, in some years, the largest minority in America. Let's build some bridges. Every white person is not racist. The Civil Rights Movement learned that. Malcolm X learned that. Every white person ain't racist. So find those that are not and build some bridges. If you're for the mission, we can walk together no matter what your color is. If you are in tune with the mission, it doesn't matter what your socioeconomic background is or what your academic achievements are. We can work together if we are committed to the same mission. And the mission can't be going around burning stuff. You must find in the Christian family even those who don't look like us to build relationships with. Our problem is not always hate. Often it's ignorance. Some folk don't like you because they've been told they are not like you. I'll never forget when I started college in South Louisiana. Walked up this big old dude. Like he should have been playing football. So, you know, I'm a freshman, so I stuck my chest out. What's up? He said, hi. Sometimes we stereotype based on ignorance. And sometimes by building relationships, we can erode and erase ignorance. But if you don't talk to them, and if you don't meet them, and you don't develop relationships, in the absence of truth, a lie will prevail. Jesus died. But his death built bridges. Through his death, man and creator could get back on speaking terms. Through his death, sinners and the sovereign could now speak again. Through his death, Paul later could say, there is neither Jew nor Greek, bond or free. We are one in Jesus Christ. Through his death, bridges were built. There's power. I heard Jesse Jackson say yesterday, there's power in innocent blood. Jesus shed his innocent blood, and what power was shown through Calvary? He died. But through his death, reconciliation was made possible. It's not about burning, it's about building. You want to honor the death of those whose lives have been taken? Start with being a better you. Start there. And then move from that to having a better view of other people. Help me if you can. Seeing your enemies different. Jesus Jesus, through his death, said, Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. He saw his enemies different, and if you see them differently, then you can start building relationships with folk you typically would have no dealings with. Amen. Build some bridges. Reconcile. Bring folk together. You do know that was Jesus' prayer, high priestly prayer in John 17. Lord, that they may be one. Y'all, if we just be like God made us be, we ought to bring folk together. Oh, I wish y'all help me close this. Sheep know how to travel in flock. Dogs know how to travel in packs. Bees know how to hive together. Birds know how to fly together. Ants know how to work together. If they can work together, the people of God who say we've got the mind of Christ ought to be able to come together and work together for the glory of God. I'm so glad when we all get to heaven, it ain't gonna be no black heaven, ain't gonna be no white heaven, but when we all get to heaven, what a day. I said, what a day of rejoicing that will be. When we all see Jesus, we'll sing and shout the victory. But I'm so glad we don't have to wait till we get to heaven. We can start rehearsing down here. I dare you to just speak to somebody tomorrow or speak to somebody this week that typically before this sermon you wouldn't have spoken to. You ain't got to tell them your business. Just ask them how they're doing. Don't have a witness here. Get to know them. Build some relationships. Yeah, for the sake of uniting our world and uniting the nation. And if they give you an ignorant comment, try not to react because they just don't know no better. And Jesus said, when they don't know no better, Father, forgive them. Because they don't know what they're doing. We've got to see them differently so we can walk together, children. Don't you get weary. There's a great camp meeting in the promised land. I'm so glad he died, but he didn't die for himself. He died to reconcile us. He died so that we might have a right to everlasting life. He was a builder and not a burner. Yes, I said yes. And I want this church, I want the church in America to be a building church, bringing folk together, learning how to love our enemies, learning how to pray for those that despitefully use us. Walk together, children. Don't you get weary. There's a great camp meeting in the promised land. Is there anybody here that knows there's a great camp meeting? We going to heaven and we'll be there where no graves are dug. We'll be there where every day is howdy, howdy, never goodbye. Will you be there? I said, will you be there? Yeah, yeah, oh yeah. I know he's all right. I dare you to look at somebody and just say, let's be a builder. Not always condemning, criticizing, and complaining. We ought to be encouragers. Yeah, they messed up. But don't burn them. Say, oh yeah, you messed that up, but that's all right. That's over with. Let's build. Let's move on. They didn't speak to you. Don't burn them. Oh, you ain't gonna speak, but I'm gonna speak to you. They don't like you. to do is really just listen to Donald Trump. I'm serious, just listen to him. The folk he's listening to are not telling him the stuff you and I are saying. This man thinks most of the country just loves him. He thinks he's doing a marvelous job. He's ignorant. He don't know no better. If he really knew what many of us are saying, he would probably turn into an overnight Hitler. Some think he's already there. He don't know. There are a whole lot of folk you see day by day. They don't know no better. They really think he's making America great again. And they don't understand why we ain't rejoicing. I'll tell you about the stock market. The stock market is old. The stock market is record highs. Our president is, the job market is good. Why are y'all complaining? They don't know no better. Whole lot of folk that you don't like, it's because y'all just don't know each other. But as Christians, sometimes we've got to take the initiative and say, you know what? If I don't do anything different, we both will stay ignorant. So let me do something different. Build bridges. Not burning everything. I may see it different tomorrow, but right now, I don't see the use in boycotting. Not now. Just want to see the video. There's some things that gonna come out, they're gonna shape the narrative. I'm already hearing stuff behind the scenes. They're gonna shape the narrative like they've always done. Because they're going to try to make us look stupid. So no, I don't want to tell you what I'm up to yet. Show me the video. Then I'll make my decision. But they want us to show us all our cards. Then they're going to shape the narrative. We're going to look like we got egg on our face. And it's just going to set the stage for the next time it happens. But no, let's just build some bridges. Connect with some people, build some relationships. This is critical for this church because many of the folk that's moving in our neighborhood as a church don't look like us. We're going to have to learn how to build some bridges. It's not a radical idea. It's what Jesus taught. Heads are bowed, eyes are closed. Every person is praying. I'm sure most of us, if not all of us, can do better. I know I can. There's some folk I just don't talk to. But I'm going to do better. I pray that you will. Won't you talk to the Lord about it? And then once you finish praying, won't you stand?